So again, to raise quality in your program, you want to make sure that what you're using is something that parents can look over and determine, what is my child learning? How is my child learning? So we're going to first talk about the list of things that children will learn. This is actually from the curriculum framework that I wrote. And this lists all of the areas that children will learn. And then these are all of the markers of growth. So they're indicators and markers of growth. This aligns with the Common Core, but then sometimes you use DRDPs. I have kind of a DRDP cheat sheet that looks very similar to this. If you email me or contact me at the end of this presentation, I can give that to you. It looks really similar with the domains and then also the different markers for growth under DRDPs. But what you'll notice about this is that it's all of the social and emotional, but then these are things that are going to translate into real academic skills. Most parents are sending their children so that they're ready for skills. A few parents are sending their kids just so that they can go to a spa or get a manicure, but most kids are at school so that they can be ready for elementary school. So you want parents to see what are the skills that they're going to leave your program with. And how will we know that they've developed those skills? So again, if you'd like a copy of this, or if you want the DRDP worksheet, I will send that to you if you send an email or contact me through my website. So monthly planning, most of you guys have teacher planning tools. This is the monthly planning tool we use here. It literally says monthly planning tool. So it's really easy for people to understand that this is what we're covering for the entire month. As I mentioned, we are an experience-based program, which means we have some kind of major project that has some use. We try not to do anything that's throwaway. So for the month of April, we would write the month is April. For the theme, it's Earth Day. The meaningful experience would be the big project that we're working toward. Or if you don't do a big project, it could be the smaller projects that you're working on. Your anchor book or books are all of the resources that you need. Your factual knowledge, and this is where the tracker comes in. Your factual knowledge can be some of these things, can be directly related to social emotional development, math awareness, physical development. The skills, once you know those facts, how do you put them into action? And then the specific indicators and markers of growth that this aligns with. Again, if you use DRDPs, you can write the specific DRDPs right on here. And now you have a month worth of game planning. This is what you're going to cover for the entire month. If parents ask, hey, what does my child learn in this program? It's already written out. And again, it took me 3-4 minutes to explain this. It probably takes maybe 5 or 6 minutes more to fill it out. So we're not talking about a huge time commitment, and it's a way to clearly articulate every month what children will learn in your program. All right, so now, and I'm going to kind of show all of the things because this is kind of a build up, and think of it like a triangle, a backwards triangle. We started out very broadly with many different topics. We have all of our indicators and markers of growth. And then we go to the monthly planning. So this is the guide that will lead us through the entire month. Now we need a week by week planning tool. So you can devote maybe 25 minutes, 15 minutes to doing a rough draft of what you plan to do for the whole month. And then each week, this will be a complement so that you can further break down those ideas. The weekly planning tool, again, it's still April, it's still Earth Day, and we're still building the backyard garden. We're still using the books that we're using. The areas that we're going to assess at the end of the month are written explicitly here. The factual knowledge, the skills, and this is divided over the course of 4 weeks. So in our case, as our children are doing their wall garden, they're learning specific colors, they're learning specific numbers, and they're learning some biology. They can't learn all of that at once, so they're just going to work on the colors this week, and they're going to work on identifying them. So the facts are the colors, the skill is identification. The second week, they're going to work on numbers. So they're going to work on counting 1 through 10. Actually, I think it's 1 through 8 because there's 8 of them in that class this month. So they're working on identifying the numbers 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 8. And the skill is actually counting. So they're putting 1-to-1 counting. The third week, they're learning about pollinators and about bees and how they interact with flowers. The skill is to recreate that on their wall garden. So they actually did a couple of activities where they put pollen-like things on their hand and they transferred them. So they dipped their hands in in water. Then they put them in rice, and then they dragged their hands across their pants to get the idea that pollen transfers from the bellies of the bees. And then that fourth week, they're putting all that together. So they're counting the number of flowers, they're identifying the colors, they have their bees that go from flower to flower, and they're putting the garden together. So the teacher has already figured out which activities she's going to do over the course of these 4 weeks, how the kids are going to learn over the course of these 4 weeks, so that there's one major project at the end. So again, this is just a way to organize and keep things so that when parents ask, you have something tangible. You can give it to them in hand and show, this is what we're doing week by week. This is what we're doing month by month. This is what we're assessing over the course of the school year.